Rob starts off this hour in Chicago. Hey, Rob, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Good afternoon, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up in your world?
Well, I've got a weird question for you, certainly. My girlfriend and I are concerned we are putting too much towards retirement and was hoping to get some guidance on that.
How can you put too much towards retirement?
Well, running the numbers, we are contributing $60,000 annually in tax-advantaged accounts, and my concern is that, you know, in 40 years, we're looking at that rate of return conservatively of 5%. I'm seeing $10 million, and that honestly seems like just too much for two people, you know?
Okay. All right. Well, I have a different perspective on that. I mean, obviously, if that happened, you would have no trouble giving it away if you needed to maintain yourself.
Certainly.
I'm an evangelical Christian, and so my worldview is that I don't own anything, that I manage what I have for God. And so in that case, I'm called to manage that for Him, which the first rule would be to take care of my own household. That's long past if you have $10 million. The second rule would be to take care of my retirement and to change my family tree, to leave an inheritance to my children. And I'm long past that. And if you had $10 million, you'd be long past that. And then the third goal, past those things, scripturally in that order, is to obviously care for others and use that money for good. And the more money you have, the more good you can do, assuming you're managing it with that mindset. Now, if your only mindset is hedonism, is consumption, then I would agree with you that you wouldn't need that much. It could be possibly even spiritually, emotionally dangerous to have money that much becomes turned in on one's self. But that's not the theology or the philosophy I live my life by.
Absolutely. I should clarify, we do give charitably currently and plan to for many years. Have you heard of the charity Unbound?
No.
So it's actually one of our favorites. It's sponsoring children and senior citizens internationally. It's associated with the Catholic Church.
Cool.
And
great.
I love them because they actually give 97 cents on the dollar to the actual mission, right? Which you don't see with a lot of charities. So
right. Well, that's because that's probably because they're underwritten for their administrative by the Catholic Church, which is awesome. And so your giving dollar is being very efficiently used, which the efficiency of the giving dollar is very, very important. But, I mean, what if you could give $10 million to that? Or what if you could do $1 million a year just off of the interest that the $10 million creates? You know, or whatever.
Absolutely.
What if you just walked up and found a single mom who was struggling and bought her a car? I mean, what if you think of the things you can do like that if you're not inwardly turned. Now, if you're only consuming like a 4-year-old, you're going to be an unhappy person because, stuff does not make you happy. It's okay to get you some stuff. Stuff's not evil. Wealth is not evil. But this idea that you chase that in order to be happy is a really dangerous thing spiritually and emotionally. I wouldn't do that. So, all that to say, I think it would be a wonderful problem to have.
Okay. So you recommend creating a legacy sort of in terms of estate planning?
Absolutely.
Setting up charitable giving and
do you guys anticipate having children?
Yes.
Okay.
Girlfriend, a minimum of 3.
Okay, fair. That's wonderful. Yeah. And so then you start to think about, okay, what does wealth do to children? And so there are a group of people, and there are stereotypes that assume that if you had 10 or 20 million or 100 million, that it would destroy your children. I have 3 very high-functioning adult children, and our wealth has not destroyed them. I have grandchildren that will be the same. We've taught them to work. They're in no way entitled. They have the same worldview that we do. And if they don't share that worldview, there'll be no inheritance to them because I'm not leaving money to them to do cocaine with or ride around on a yacht. They're there to do good in the world, and the wealth is a tool to do good in the world. And if that's how you see it, then you can raise children and not damage them with wealth as well. But you could raise children that just have a reality show otherwise, right?
Yes. Have you looked into the Giving Pledge personally? Are you familiar with the
Yeah, I'm familiar. The Buffett and Gates deal. Yeah.
Yes. I think it's over 90% of your assets you give away to charity upon your death.
Exactly.
I think that's a mission that's really appealing.
It is appealing, but it, again, makes the assumption that your kids are going to mismanage the money and the charity will manage it better. And I don't philosophically line up with that assumption. I'm okay if that's what you want to do. It's your money. I got no issue with it. And it's certainly a thing. But we don't want to get into this idea. Because, see, what that ties into, if you believe that you must do that in order to be spiritually and emotionally whole, then what you're really saying is that the money is dirty, the money is evil. And the money's really not. It's people that are. And so if you left money to your child and it hurt your child, then what parent would do that? And if you assume that 100% of the time that you do that, you damage your children, no. But I am acquainted with and have studied several wealthy families of faith families that have handed the money to the next generation and continued generationally to do good works. And and I think that also is a wonderful legacy. So the idea that somehow that a charity is going to manage it better than a godly family, not necessarily true. Matter of fact, there's a lot of charities that are mismanaged. We have a family foundation. We have to study and do due diligence on them to make sure that there's something like you were talking about, 97% efficiency, and not the other way around, not a 3% efficiency, you know? So you can't assume that charities aren't going to have a glitch as well, or a ministry's not going to have a glitch as well. There's money that is mishandled in any type of organization, whether it be a family, a church, a ministry, a parachurch organization, the Vatican. Doesn't matter where you're, everywhere you go, there's an opportunity for money to be mishandled, misappropriated, poorly managed, stolen, because people are involved. And so you just can't get away from that idea. So it's a fun discussion, though. So no, I don't think you're saving too much if you have the right worldview and mindset with the money. Hold on, I'll send you a copy of a book I did on this subject. It's called The Legacy Journey. It is written from my faith perspective, fair warning. But hold on, I'll send you a copy of it as a gift.